So the next thing we want to do is add the actual functionality to control our spine now, because at the minute obviously we can't affect our spine at all. So just like we did in class, we want to zoom into our spine, because this is where it gets a little bit finicky, and move up to the top and just click on this little blue stick that's sticking out. Click on that, and then we'll be selecting curve 1, which is actually the control curve which controls the spine. So if we again go to the top a little bit, if you hover your mouse near the curve in space where the joints aren't anywhere near it, so around here, hold down right click, you'll get control vertex, and this will give you this. These are all the points which will be in control of the actual spline. There's one at the top, one in the middle, another one in the middle, and one all the way down here in the spine 1 position. So what we want to do is actually zoom right in, and this is where it gets a little bit fiddly. And select that very first curve shape one, which is the very bottom one. We want to go from the bottom upwards. Then with that selected, create deformers cluster option box, and then we want to make sure that relative is selected in mode, and we can leave envelope as 100. So we click apply, and what you'll see is a little C has been made inside there. Next we need to go to our attributes editor, and then we need to go to cluster 1 handle shape, and then in origin we control the actual position of our control vertex. But what I think people will remember in class is this is these don't update automatically, so if I add a new number in here, -1, it should now move, but inside the viewport it's not moved. So what I have to do is just grab the manipulator and move it, and you can see it's disappeared there, but it's actually moved to here. It's a bit strange. So -10 is the number inside the origin of any shape. We want to have this -10. So though we need to go through and do that for the rest of them. Remember, select the curve, right click to get the control vertex, select that cluster we want to actually, select that vertex we want to actually create a cluster on top of. Create deformers. This should be retained, so just apply, and then we get our C. Go to attributes editor, cluster 2 handle shape, -10. Just move it so we can reset the transform, and then that should be in line with that. So now all our clusters are now in line, and those, if we can just go in and grab each one of them, we can actually start to see that how the clusters actually affect the spline, and we can already get quite a good representation of movement. You can see how the spline works. So now we want to actually name these clusters so we know what we're actually going to be affecting. So inside our outline there, the bottom one is going to be a cluster hit, and then this one, because it's going to be controlling the abdominal region, is going to be a cluster abs. This one, because it's going to be controlling the chest area, I'm going to call this one cluster chest, and this one here is going to be controlling the back, so back. So we should have our names and our clusters in position at -10. So if we actually select these, you can see that our manipulator is centered on the point of origin for the actual cluster control. So this one is around the neck area, and this one is around the pelvis or spine one area. Now these two will still have their manipulators in the place where the vertex control, the little purple dot, was originally placed. Same for this one here. Now we don't want them to be there because that means we're going to be controlling from that relative space. So we want to actually snap these to new vertex so that we can to joints that we can actually control from, because this is where we're actually going to be parenting our controls later on. So we need them to be in a good position so that our controls are going to be moving in the right position. So, and it's only going to be these two in the center. These two obviously are in the right position. So, and it's really simple. With this bottom one selected, the second one, cluster abs, D to move the manipulator, and then V to snap the vertex. We want to snap that one to spine 2 here. And then chest, we want to snap to spine 4. So D to move manipulator, V to snap the vertex, move that and snap that to spine 4. So now when we go around, we can see that that one snaps to the neck, that one snaps to spine 1, this one snaps to spine 2, and this one snaps to spine 4, which is best for our controls when we come to create them. Now the last stage is to actually parent these to the root. So we want to go down and select each one of these by holding shift and selecting it, and then select the actual root joint, the very root joint, and then we want to hit P on the keyboard, and then all these now travel together. And we can hit P on these. We can do a proper direct parent constraint on these because these don't have any direct connectivity. Like we have joints which have direct connectivity, one joint to another. These are foreign clusters that are being controlled, that are controlling something on this joint, but it's not. We're not going to be breaking in direct connections. A little bit confusing to understand at first, but it's all to do with the hypergraph. It's all to do with hierarchy here. We want to get everything coming under this top node here. And these floating guys here, they will be brought underneath there later on.